What's up, everybody? It's your boy Allergy, bringing you the best entertainment here in DMV. I'm here with my first movie review. I'm going to do it on Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And I got to say, you guys, I was so happy on what I saw yesterday. Watching the movie, it's fresh in my mind, and I really enjoyed it, as you can tell from my reaction. And I'm going to give you my spoiler review. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do it without giving out spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, please stop watching. If you're not going to watch the movie, or if you still want to hear me talk, and let's just continue. The plot of the movie is basically Monarch has all the Titans or the Kaijus in their facilities, and then a rogue scientist wants to go and release them to balance nature. The reason why you're going to watch Godzilla, it's probably because you either like Godzilla or you like monster movies. And then it has that in spades. You know, it has the monsters, it has fighting, it has destruction. Like, if you're gonna go watch this movie thinking that it's gonna get like an award, an Academy Award for best writing, you shouldn't be watching this movie. You really shouldn't. Don't think it's more than anything. It's not gonna explain the meaning of life. It's not gonna make you feel good in the feels in terms of like the writing. But if you're there to see the monsters fighting, the destruction of the buildings, the action, and things like that, this is that movie for you. If you're ready to let loose your mind, enjoy the fantasy of the movie, then you will like it. You will enjoy it. Now, if I'm being honest, there's a couple characters I didn't like in the movie. I could care less. You know, a lot of the human characters, of course, you know, I'd rather watch the monsters fight. But I get it. They had to put the human characters there to ground it out for everybody else, to have somebody to care for, you know. I get that. I understand. Honestly, the mom of the movie, I didn't connect with her. I could care less what happened to her, and I was glad that she bit the bullet at the end because she was annoying. Um, another piece that was annoying. Like, I'm sorry, I know everybody loves Eleven and loves Millie Bobby Brown, but I mean, her character as well. Like, I get that you were trying to follow with your mom, and she explained it to you a certain way, and then you're gonna be like kind of a jerk to your dad, and then in the end, even knowing that when your mom or your dad was gonna be killed by the monsters, and then you're not gonna really do anything for a while, like, that's an issue. And then the dad also, like, I was astounded how much this guy knew in terms of everything. But I guess that's why they searched him out in the beginning. He was fine. I don't know. I really liked Ken Watanabe's character, and then I liked Sally Hawkins' character too. But unfortunately, they're both gone now. And then Bradford Whitford, he was pretty cool. He was funny. But everybody else was just like, the monsters though, wow. They were did that. They are the reason why you should watch these movies. Like, they pulled out all stops in terms of the monsters. All right, let's do the monster roll call. I'll start with Mothra first. Mothra, I enjoyed the design. I liked how she looked. She was faithful to the character. She was caring overall. She cared for Godzilla. She was helping him out in the fight. And I'm really glad what they did with her. I also like what they did with Dr. Chen's character, Zhang Zi. She had a twin who, basically, if you watch the old Godzilla movies, the classics, Mothra always had two twin fairies that were always with her at all times, you know, to protect her, to help, like, basically communicate with the humans. And I'm glad they did that in some way, or it was an Easter egg. So if you don't like Godzilla, you wouldn't understand. But if you watch the movie, she was like, her family had generations of twins that are always there, and that's why they did it. They did it as an Easter egg, or probably because she can communicate with Mothra in the future. Next, they had Rodan. Rodan looked great. That flying scene was awesome. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that the military couldn't do anything to the monsters. None of these monsters really, other than the Oxygen Destroyer they used later on Godzilla. But we'll get back to that later. But the fact that they're trying to kill Rodan in the air and they couldn't do anything to him, like, made me smile. Like, I get why the military is there. They're trying to do their part. But just like the old days, the military should not be able to do anything to these monsters. They should be invulnerable unless it's like something stronger than a nuke, clearly, that can kill these monsters. Then let's go to Ghidorah. Ghidorah, oh my goodness. Ghidorah looks great. I enjoyed the design they used. I enjoyed that they used the three different heads had their own personalities, kind of. I mean, in the beginning when you see them, they kind of do one's like what, the other one's like the other, and so on and so forth. But Ghidorah, I'm glad that they made him bigger than Godzilla, and I'm glad they had all his attacks, they all his electric energy blasts and things like that. And I'm glad they did it. Like the last movie, you know how long it took Godzilla to use his atomic breath, like almost the end of the movie. I'm glad they pulled all the stops from the beginning. They gave him all the powers, and they got to fight. And I really enjoyed how Ghidorah fought, how all the monsters fought. They had their own special abilities and things like that. I'm glad they kept that, and because that's what they're supposed to do. They're monsters with powers and things like that. Now Godzilla, I love the design they had him from 2014. I enjoyed it now. I mean, as you can see from the shirt, I've always liked it. I know Japan has their own side of Godzilla, and I like that design too. I don't like ours too, a little stokey, a little bulk. And I don't know why people complain about his neck all the time, but I also enjoyed. Now I haven't seen the 2014 one in a while, but I think they changed his sound in this movie to sound like more closer to the original, which I also enjoyed. So the monster fights are, as a fan, watching the monster fight, I got a little jittery. You know, I was like, oh my god, like I was excited. That's how much love and care the director had for this movie to like just build it up slowly, slowly. Ask you like kind of like how you wanted more from the first movie, and now this movie's like, all right, you know what? You guys waited 4 years or 5 years actually. I'm gonna give you what you guys been waiting for: monster fights, in out, like just mayhem, mayhem. All right. Another good thing about this movie was the soundtrack. Good gracious, that soundtrack. I'm really debating. Well, I think I'm gonna buy the soundtrack if I'm being honest. So for a long time at home, whenever I'm talking about Godzilla with my wife, I'll be like, or I would hum the Godzilla song, and then slowly do the theme and go on and so forth. In the 2014 Godzilla movie, they didn't have the theme, they didn't play it. That really upset me. I was like, you know what? Like, how are they gonna play Godzilla without his theme song? That's just like watching Superman without his theme, which probably happened already, or like The Simpsons without their theme song. Right now I don't have examples in my head at this moment that I think of. To my amazement, this movie has that song in it. It's a remade version, but it's very close to the original by Akira Ifukube, and I just this is how you know I was so excited. I was watching the movie, and then you hear the and I lied to you guys not. I was smiling from ear to ear, and you know how I could tell that, because my wife, I was looking at my wife, and she's literally looking at me smiling, knowing that how happy I was at that moment. Like the music by Bear McCreary, he clearly studied the old producer's music, and I'm glad for that. It's really magical. It's mystical. It's very nostalgic. And if you guys if you're not going to even watch the movie, listen to the music, because the music it's on another level. So what's next for the Godzilla series? Well, they look like they're pushing Godzilla to fight King Kong. That's good. Like I said, this is a spoiler review or opinion or whatever, however you want to take it, thoughts. So if you didn't watch the end of the movie, or if you watched up to the end of the movie and you didn't stay for the credits, you did miss something. I mean, a lot of people thought it was because of the picture of Godzilla and King Kong about the fight. I think the cavemans drew a picture or something. If you stayed longer, which I did, you could see at the end Charles Dance, the other bad guy of the movie. I literally was like, what? Lannister's there? Great. But he's there, and they go back to Mexico, or wherever Rodan was born, and these guys have the body of Ghidorah. So immediately, I'm like, I think it's just me, my wife, and like three guys in the back. And I'm like, oh snap. they're gonna bring Mecha Ghidorah. So he's definitely coming in sometime soon, and that'd be awesome. More monsters, more things. That's what I want. So what I think they might do, who knows? But they're gonna have Godzilla fight King Kong, right? Okay. But what if it's not the real Godzilla? It's something that looks like Godzilla that's fighting King Kong because they're trying to control all the kaijus, right? Now stay with me. Now, if they're gonna rebuild Ghidorah to Mecha Ghidorah, which is gonna have one normal head and then two robotic heads, and this Godzilla fights King Kong, but isn't King Kong, and instead it's Mecha Godzilla, it's gonna be a 2v2 fight where Godzilla and King Kong versus the mechas, which would be awesome. Will that happen? I highly doubt it. It's probably gonna have Godzilla fight King Kong. But here's the thing: a lot of people are not gonna want to see one of them win. I mean, they've done it before. They did have King Kong versus Godzilla in the past, and in that fight, nobody won. It was up for interpretation on who won. But I'm sure if they did make it that like Godzilla won, they'll alienate the King Kong fans, and if King Kong won, the Godzilla fans will be pissed off. So there's no way it can't work. That's why I'm thinking they're gonna have the mechas fight the original kaiju. That should be the next movie. It's gonna come up, but I do hope they bring more monsters because Ghidorah was from space. He was originally from space, anyways. So why don't they bring another monster from space? Why don't they bring Gigan? Gigan would be cool to fight. Or if not Gigan, why don't they bring Megalodon from the bottom? You know how where Godzilla was living in like the trenches and stuff. A Megalodon lives down there too. Bring up all these other monsters because we did see all the other monsters that were alive or that Monarch had, like a Scylla, Titan or something. I don't know. I didn't see Anguirus there. Hopefully they can bring him. I think the reason why we didn't see any of the other monster names like Anguirus or Baragon or Titanosaurus or Gorosaurus or Titanosaurus is another guy. Sorry, I'm throwing off a tangent. We didn't see him because I don't think they got the rights. So I understand why they had the Mutos there and that elephant gorilla looking thing and then that spider, which I think the spider was a reference to Komagora, but I'm not sure. Anyways, sorry. I know I'm just nerdy now. I was just so excited. Watch it. I give it 2 thumbs way up. It's great. You'll enjoy it. This is Alex G signing off. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. And let me know how I did. You guys have a great night.